Hello, good morning. Hope everyone is safe and well. I'm here today at the British School of Bahrain. My name is Charlie Cooksey with Education BH, powered by Gulf Insider Media. Joined today with Robert Howe, who is the head of juniors here at the British School. Rob, how are you today?
Very well, thanks, Charlie.
So we'll get right into it. The first question, should students perceive teachers as friends instead of formal figures?
Well, a teacher and a friend are very different things. The students see their friends as on the same level as them, and a teacher is more of a guide and a leader. So there needs to be respect in both directions. The student will see the teacher as older, wiser, and someone whose lead is there to be followed. They might not see a friend in quite the same way. However, one hopes that the interaction between students and teachers would always be on a friendly basis. If the students are cooperative, compliant, and want to learn, then it can be like that.
How do you identify natural leaders in your classes and help them build natural leadership skills?
Well, they identify themselves very often by making their skills and their ambitions quite clear. We have members of parliament in our junior classes. Every class has one, and they have a deputy member of parliament, and they meet fortnightly, and they also interact with our head student team, where we have a head boy, head girl, a deputy head girl, a deputy head boy. So together they are the student leaders of the school, and they are elected by their peers. They then interact with me, particularly with the head student team, and the class teachers with the members of parliament. And they come forward with suggestions, with things that they would like to do to improve the school, and some of those are workable, and we move forward with them. So they feel they have a voice, and that voice leads to action.
Would you say this is the rebellious age, and how can parents manoeuvre this?
Well, it can be. Children like to flex their muscles as they grow up. We don't really do rebellious at school, but the children do have a will of their own, and the world would be a poorer place if they didn't. Parents, I think, should give their children space to be themselves and to have their own views, their opinions, and at the same time, children need to recognise that the adults sort of know what they're talking about because they were children once. And so rebellious, not really. Spirited, ambitious, keen to be individuals, definitely, yeah.
When must we plant the seed of reading?
That must be planted as early as possible in life, and not in a visual way initially. I think the important thing is to expose children to language from the earliest age possible, to read to them, to speak with them. When they get a little bit older, they begin to be able to read themselves, maybe 5 years, 6 years, whatever, then parents can read together with the children, shared reading, talk about what they've read, and that can continue up to any age at all. There's no upper limit. Seeing words, flashcards, or in any written form, even before a child is ready to read, can help them recognise the shape of the word, and there's no time when it's too early to start that, right from when the child is able to see and focus on the faces of their parents. So the sooner the better, and the children who become the most confident and skilled readers, they are the ones who are exposed to language from a very early age. There's no doubt about that.
Are children so used to visual devices and technology that reading has perhaps taken a back seat?
Many people may have that concern. I think there is a space for both in the modern world. Electronic devices are now here to stay. They're subsumed in every aspect of our lives. Interestingly, many young people say to me that they prefer paper books when they're reading rather than electronic media. Of course, the advantage of the e-readers and the books we read on our phones is they're unlosable and undamageable, and good from that point of view. I think there will always be a place for both. Bertrand Russell famously said that whatever is natural is whatever the speaker was accustomed to in childhood. So maybe another generation or two down the line, things may be different, and the electronic devices will be a transparent medium that we're not conscious of anymore, and we do all our reading through them. I don't know. But as long as we continue to read, we have access to a rich dimension of enjoyment and learning and fulfillment.
How do parents keep track of their child's holistic development at the BSB?
Well, we have a strong PSHE program, Personal Social Health Education, and we communicate with parents frequently, both in written form and face-to-face consultations. Interestingly, this school year they've been video consultations, and that's worked rather well. It saved people having to park and come into school, and we'll probably continue that into the future. There'll be post-COVID lessons that we learn that will improve our routine practice. So the holistic development of children, that underpins all of their learning. If they're not happy, not functioning well, then the learning won't happen. It's crucially important. And that two-way dialogue we have with parents, where they feel that the door is always open, in reality or virtually, that's pivotal to children's holistic development. And this very morning I did an online PSHE lesson with a Year 6 class, and they were so confident, comfortable now with the virtual learning environment, looking forward to their virtual graduation and a virtual Year 6 dance party, which is going to happen this coming weekend. The holistic development, I think, is going very well.
And my last question, really just a bit more of a personal question, a bit about you for the people that are watching and the parents that are watching. Tell us a bit about your background at the BSB, how long you've been here for, and your years at the BSB.
Well, I've been here for 8 years. I joined BSB in 2012. Prior to that, I was in Kuwait, and before that in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. That was my first overseas post after leaving the UK. So I've clocked up a mere 33 years now in teaching, and I still can't understand why anybody wants to do any other job. I think my job is wonderful. I'm very fortunate to do it, and to work with the children and the parents and the staff of BSB is, I think, about as good as it gets.
That's great. Thank you, Rob. This has been a great conversation. Thank you for everyone watching, and Rob, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome, Charlie. Thank you for the invitation.